Well, the modern day WWE product is vastly different to how it was a decade ago. Since TKO took over WWE, numerous changes have been made, and while some have made WWE a much better place, certain changes have sucked the life and soul out of the WWE product. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 things that absolutely suck about modern day WWE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10. The show intros. The WWE over the past few years has completely overhauled how shows are presented, and this extends to the intros for the shows. When it comes to weekly shows, those being Raw and SmackDown, the show now typically begins with wrestlers entering the arena with a coffee in their hand. Now, it does give the show a sports-style feel, but it still feels completely out of place for pro wrestling. In the past, pro wrestling shows started with a stunning intro package, then pyro would sound off before a wrestler would then make their entrance. But these days are long gone. WWE seems to love this type of presentation, and there appears to be no sign that any change is on the horizon, at least anytime soon. Number 9. Pacing is everything. Now, a key change WWE has made when it comes to all their major shows has come in the form of commercial breaks. Now, PLEs have adverts in between matches, which would be unheard of a decade ago. This has led to vast criticism, especially from international fans, as fans are forced to look at a screen for like 5 minutes whilst they wait for the WWE to return from commercial. The reason for commercials on shows is one that is strictly revenue based, and due to WWE airing on streaming platforms, this is how both sides are making billions of dollars each year. It's worth addressing that WWE could have easily taken this approach in the WWE Network days, but the fact that they didn't speaks volumes to how they've always put fans first when it comes to the overall viewing experience. The main issue comes from how these commercials are inserted, as they negatively impact the overall viewing experience for the fan. O'Shea Jackson recently discussed this via X by saying, WWE must figure out better pacing for their ads. The way the flow is absolutely ruined on a streaming service people are already paying to have is wild. I know ads have to be there, but it just never felt like a consistent flow of television on Mondays. And things like Javon signing to Raw deserve to be shown on Raw. I know there are ways around it, but the people who are watching it legitimately on time on Mondays shouldn't be punished. The traditional pay-per-view model was simple in nature. The format of the shows saw consistent matches, and there could usually be backstage segments or even a WWE-tied plug between the matches. This meant that WWE could have around 8 matches on a 3-hour broadcast. But due to the sheer number of ads that WWE is contracted to include for each show, the idea of an 8-match card is unrealistic now. WWE executive Bruce Pritchard recently stated that less is more when it comes to WWE PLEs, but this was short-sighted, and Pritchard clearly knows that the only reason for the limited number of matches on a PLE card is because of the commercials. Unfortunately, due to the revenue these ads bring in, there's no chance of this changing anytime soon. Number 8. Too many titles. Does WWE have too many titles right now? Well, this has been a common complaint from fans, and it has a ton of merit. Whilst WWE has arguably had too many active titles at one time for years, it's never been this problematic, as reigns can last for months on end with just 1 or 2 title defenses. This has been seen with the Women's US title, as despite the title now being a year old, it's yet to be defended on a single PLE. Based on the current presentation of the title on SmackDown, this is unlikely to change, and it would be a total miracle if the title makes a WrestleMania card at all. Ultimately, WWE just has no interest taking certain titles seriously, and it's only when a big star wins these titles, such as Becky Lynch winning the Women's IC title, is when WWE begins to show some urgency. Number 7. They've gone too far. And when early 2025, WWE made the bold call to lean heavily into the fact that WWE was scripted. Names such as The Rock and Triple H would openly address that the show was formatted, and when WWE Unreal came along, this changed everything. This was a show that revealed to the general audience that WWE is totally scripted, and Triple H is the mastermind behind the show. Now tell me this, has there been a single benefit from WWE doing this? Well, the short answer is no. It's not led to any surge of interest. All it's led to is fans as well as fellow wrestlers questioning why WWE feel the need to tell the audience the show is scripted every 5 seconds. A comparison fans like to make on social media is that it's like Robert Downey Jr. telling the audience halfway throughout Iron Man that it's a scripted movie. It's just a bizarre approach, and it's almost as if WWE wants key members of the creative team, Triple H, to receive credit for the success of the product. Number 6. Viral moments. WWE is a company that loves to make viral moments, but these viral moments can often come at the expense of strong storytelling. This was on full display at WrestleMania 41, as WWE's attempt to make a viral moment backfired, and it ultimately resulted in one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. Now, we know Travis Scott is a household name outside of WWE, and WWE made the bold call to have him included in the John Cena heel turn arc. Granted, WWE has hit a home run over the past few years with celebrity involvement, as Logan Paul and Bad Bunny have been incredible, but Scott was an instant red flag. During his first appearance, he legitimately injured WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, when all he had to do was slap Rhodes. Then fast forward to WrestleMania, and they would present Scott as the difference maker in the Rhodes vs Cena main event matchup. Scott would then take a lifetime to come down to the ring, and he was presented as if he was bigger than Rhodes and Cena. It was a terrible call, and fans quickly called it out. Not a single person was talking about Scott in a positive light after the match, and when it surfaced later in the year that Scott dropped out of future WWE projects, this was a sign that WWE definitely made the wrong call, all because they wanted that viral moment. Number 5. Celeb Obsessed. Now, the usage of celebrities in WWE program isn't a new concept at all. The first Mania was heavily built around celebrity involvement, and virtually every WrestleMania since has had some type of celebrity participation. The problem is that in this new WWE era, they're utterly obsessed with celebrities, and it's doing a disservice to the product and the wrestlers themselves. The WWE boom period of the modern era occurred around 2022, and this didn't occur thanks to a celebrity. It occurred thanks to strong, compelling creative combined with an over roster. Weirdly, despite shows doing extremely well, WWE just can't resist making everything about the celebrities. When it came time to promote Wrestlepalooza, they made the call to even have celebs as the first people featured in the promo package. Rightfully so, WWE were called out for this, as it wasn't just false advertising, it made it look like celebrities such as Snoop Dogg were bigger than names such as John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Some say Triple H is being influenced to do this, and that may be the case, but even he's missing WWE-related shows to attend celebrity-related events. Notably, in 2025, the Game missed Raw to attend a Tony Hinchcliffe taping, and when he was questioned on this, he had no idea what had occurred on that episode of Raw. It was a terrible look for the head of WWE creative. Number 4. Endless teasers. Triple H loves never-ending feuds. Feuds that dominate television time are feuds that often last for 6 months or longer, and when the payoff match finally occurs, fans are delighted when it's over. This has been seen time and time again with Triple H's booking approach, and it was most recently seen with the lackluster Damian Priest vs Aleister Black feud. Outside of this, one of the things that the game likes to do is to tease a storyline, then never follow up on it. And let's just look at 2 major ones from his time as WWE head of creative. The first being Gable vs Otis. As when Chad Gable turned heel, Otis turned into the biggest babyface in the world. He was receiving thunderous reactions on a weekly basis, and fans were eagerly anticipating him turning on Gable. Weirdly, this match never occurred during their feud, and that's right, they had an entire feud of just teases. The more recent one that he's been guilty of is the Orton vs Rhodes feud, as Randy Orton has been looking directly at the WWE title for almost 2 years now, and it's become so frustrating that it's turned into a running joke amongst fans. WWE has teased an Orton heel turn and a subsequent feud with Rhodes for years now, but every time WWE seems to move forward with the program, they pivot at the last moment. Number 3. Too many shows. The WWE has too many shows. There's no denying it. Raw and SmackDown are given blockbuster matches due to PLEs having limited matches, so this means that the builds to these PLEs are underwhelming and flat. WWE has also encountered a pivotal issue with Saturday Night's main event, as it made the insane call to have the majority of these take place the week before a PLE. Take for instance in 2025 and 2026 respectively, Saturday Night's main event takes place 7 days before the Rumble. This kills the momentum of the build to the Rumble completely, and it's extremely hard to build up multiple shows simultaneously. Of course, ultimately this comes down to greed. WWE didn't need to add Saturday Night main events to the calendar, but they just can't resist the extra revenue. The main concern for this is that it's going to burn everyone out, and this extends to talent and the writers. Triple H has already shut down the idea of every PLE going 2 nights, so he's fully aware of how grueling the current landscape is. So this is something that TKO must consider as we push through 2026. Number 2. WWE vs the fans. When Triple H was running NXT, he seemed to be the opposite of Vince McMahon. The game responded to criticism by directly implementing changes in his booking, and he was always kind and gracious to the fans. However, over the past year, this has dramatically changed. Triple H has gone on numerous rants about the fans complaining about the product and his specific dislike when it comes to discussing the IWC. Speaking during an appearance on Andrew Schultz's Flagrant podcast, he mentioned, "The internet is not real life, and the bitching and the effing complaining that is on there is not real life. You could read the internet and it'll sound like this thing is dead." I'll use Cody as the example. Cody's already jumped the shark. He's dead as a babyface. He goes, "Really? I don't know. I'm in an arena with 10 to 15,000 people every night going apeshit for me, selling the most merchandise." For sure, whatever you want to say on the internet, that's the golden rule. It's just the opinion of a few people. This was a totally nonsensical comment from the game. It's been proven time and time again that the game uses social media to see what fans think about the product. Numerous changes such as the WrestleMania 40 booking were heavily influenced by the response of the internet. It's definitely a bold war to start, especially as the IWC are usually the fans that stick with the product no matter what, and it's the type of fan that Triple H should be embracing rather than arguing with. And number 1, ticket prices. The ticket prices for WWE shows have never been higher, and unfortunately, this is unlikely to change anytime soon. TKO wants to make as much money as possible, and whilst this is understandable, when fans have to save all year just to attend a C-level PLE, something is surely wrong. This model has even received criticism from WWE great Randy Orton, as Orton was speechless when it came to how much one fan had paid for his WrestleMania ticket. This was a dire look for WWE and TKO, and their sheer greed was on full display. Now, the worst thing about this is that TKO execs are going one step further, and they made it clear that Vince McMahon's pricing tickets so families could attend was actually wrong, and they believe that there is opportunity to increase ticket prices even further. TKO pricing out families is a ludicrous business strategy, and one that deserves to backfire in a major way. But there you have it, folks, 10 things that absolutely suck about modern day WWE. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.